to another episode of Live Well. I am your host, Mary Blake, and today I've got a treat for each and every one of you. Now, we know that our motto is where health meets wealth and purpose, but sometimes we get the opportunity to see where those two are not mutually exclusive, but can be intertwined together. In fact, you need both health and wealth to help define your purpose. If your finances are not correct, that's going to affect your mental health. If your gut health is off, that can also affect your spiritual well-being. Said all that to say, today I have two of Dallas's most influential and impactful female leaders. To my left, I have the fantastic Miss Joyce Tapley, who is the CEO of Foremost Family Health Centers. And to my right, I have Miss Effie Dennison, Executive Director of Susser Bank. Welcome, ladies.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for having me.
Thank you.
We'll start with Miss Joyce Tapley. Tell us a little bit about your background and your interest and how you got started in healthcare.
Okay, background is I am a University of Washington Husky graduate. Also, I did undergrad and grad. And I went into their master's degree program in healthcare administration and focused on finance because I was interested in healthcare most of my life. But I wanted to be in a position where I could make decisions for the companies. And so I started out uh, as a hospital residency program in Southern California, which is where I live. I live. And after the 1 year residency program, got hired on as one of the hospital administrators.
Wow.
So we reported to the CEO. They gave us quite a few departments to be responsible for on the operations side, the financial side, and growth. And then I ended up moving on to other places, San Francisco General Hospital, and then came here 30 years ago, actually,
Wow.
and worked at a multi-specialty group practice. And then I found this 1-inch advertisement for Martin Luther King Jr. Family Clinic Executive Director in 1998. And I applied for the job. I was the third person they made the offer to, and I took it. So I've been the chief executive officer for Martin Luther King Family Clinic. It's now called Foremost Family Health Centers. And I've been there since 1998.
Wow.
And we have grown from one site, which is the current one, where we'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary in August. So
Congratulations.
that location has been in South Dallas in the Martin Luther King Center. And we've opened up another site, EBJ Youth and Family Center in South Dallas. And then we also opened a site in Balch Springs, and then we'll be opening up a few more. But our ultimate goal is to provide primary care to underserved and uninsured individuals. But we also see insured folks as well. So we offer family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, dentistry, laboratory, behavioral health, podiatry. All of the services that we offer are designed to keep people well and healthy so that they don't have to use the emergency room unnecessarily. So we are a private practice, a nonprofit, which means that at least 51% of the board members that I report to are patients of our health center. That's a requirement for us to be able to receive some partial funding from the federal government. So we've been focusing on primary care, keeping people healthy. If they have any type of chronic condition, we help them manage those chronic conditions, and we do whatever we can to take care of the entire family. So we see birth to geriatrics,
Wow.
all in one place.
That's
And
fantastic.
our goal is to be able to reach as many folks by doing more expansion projects in the southern sector.
I should have asked, what don't you do?
Well, I don't have to do. I don't know. What don't I do? I'm a mom, and all that good stuff too. So I try to do as much as possible, as long as the Lord wakes me up every day.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you're such a blessing to the community. And now, Miss Effie, on the wealth side, what interests you in going into the financial sector and just your experience there?
Actually, I started out in commercial real estate,
Really?
and that's kind of where I cut my teeth in the industry. And then um, the late 80s, early 90s happened, and that's where you had all of the banks that were consolidated and ended up going with the FDIC for a period of time, where we were going in closing banks and I was taking over the commercial portfolio. That ultimately led me to an opportunity with one of the larger financial institutions out of Houston, Texas, where I didn't know a job like this would even exist. And it's one that took the expertise that I had as a in the commercial real estate to be able to come in and develop strategic strategy for the whole state of Texas relative to how do we help underserved communities. What does that look like in terms of pure investments to bring affordable housing, to bring healthcare, to bring services? So I led that effort for 13 years for a large institution in Houston and ultimately moved to Dallas with Fannie Mae at the heyday of mortgage origination. And then 2008 happened, as we all know what that looked like.
Right.
So we saw that coming, but certainly, but I've always been in the arena for the last 30 years of financial services, real estate banking. I've also been an entrepreneur. I've had, various businesses with my daughter and my family, buy some, sell some, buy some. We're doing development now, building our own in Bishop Arts. We had an opportunity to acquire some land and build a whole city block in that area. Now we're building housing in that area. So it's just in my blood to be able to understand how do you connect the dots. And what's beautiful about it is that because I know both sides of it, I know what the banks are looking for in a transaction. The real estate piece comes in because I know how to structure what it location, location, location.
Yeah.
But also an understanding what that business is looking for to be able to fulfill their vision that they have for themselves. So meeting them where they are, identifying what that needs to look like, helping with the capital stack, going into communities where historically banks have not been,
Right.
and creating those opportunities where you can see how you can transform. Sometimes it takes one catalyst project to transform an entire neighborhood that jump starts and you'll just see it. And it's like the gift that keeps giving. So I love it.
Right. Right. And that actually ties a little bit into this catalyst that you guys are doing, expanding your healthcare.
Yes.
Tell me, in the South Dallas sector, Martin Luther King area, what are some changes that you've seen over the years and the growth, whether it's real estate, new businesses that are coming in?
Real estate and new businesses is what they have. They've actually, when I was there in 98, there were just right around the corner from us, there were a lot of homes that were either dilapidated, they were tearing them down, and now they're rebuilding them and making more affordable housing. So that's one of the key things that I see happening there, which is helpful because a lot of folks, if they're going to be in a neighborhood that is developed, then they've got to be able to have the grocery stores,
Sure.
the banks, other homes, a park. We're right down the street from Fair Park. But I see a lot of growth in how they are redesigning the area. There are a lot of partners. I'm going to mention one, St. Philip's Academy.
Yeah.
And we actually have staff members that have children that went there, but they've developed a whole sector within there. And so we partner with the folks that they partner with to provide clothing and food, just all types of services that are beyond the scope of direct health care, direct patient care. And just having partners with them, Sharing Life is another partner that we have. We've got over 40 partners. And the growth in the South Dallas area, while it takes some time to make the changes and for the city council and everyone in that area to actually agree to what they're going to develop, they're developing. I'm seeing a lot of positive changes there. We just need more. We definitely need more good grocery stores
Sure.
and places where people can go shop locally.
I heard there was a Whole Foods that they were trying to, or talked about getting it, but I think it wasn't.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So is it Oak Cliff?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
yeah.
supposed to be, and the tract of land is still sitting vacant there today. So
Really?
right off of Davis and Beckley.
So what happens if something is proposed and there's a good reason for it to be like grocery stores, which are much needed in that area, but is it just that they don't think that that type of demographic is interested or can afford the goods there?
Well, I'm not going to speak for the grocery store chains
Sure.
because I think it's certainly something that we need to be able as a community to advocate on our own behalf. I was quite disappointed. As a matter of fact, this is my banking hat. certainly working with all of the redevelopment at Redbird. That was me working with that group at the end.
Redbird.
And we had approved a loan for the Tom Thumb that was to go here. Our son was there, everything was ready to go, and then Tom Thumb pulled it when they merged with Albertsons. That's another whole conversation, but to me, that was a missed opportunity. So that tract of land is sitting there vacant and dormant now. That still creates an opportunity for us. So I think a lot of it is what I've seen just from my experience, and even moving here from another outside of the Houston, is don't go south. It's this stereotype that we have relative to what does that look like? What does South Dallas look like? There are people that are in this city that have never gone south of the Trinity. That Trinity River is a natural barrier. It's an economic barrier. It is a race barrier. It is real.
Yes, it
And
is.
that perception that you see for people that don't go south don't have any idea. So what I've had success in doing, both with this institution that we just did recently and a previous one, I can't have you making credit decisions with blinders on. So the best way I can help you to understand what opportunity looks like is to show you. So I call it get in Effie's truck. We're going to call it the Dispel the Myth Tour.
Yes.
We're going to go drive so you can see how we invested in at a previous institution in Trinity Groves. And now you look at what has happened to that entire West Dallas corridor.
Right.
One catalyst project that employs 500 people that brought in housing, affordable housing, mixed income housing, schools, programs, everyone's coming in. We can talk about the Redbird, or you think about that Starbucks. We financed that Starbucks, and then the Foot Locker, and then now look at all of the Chick-fil-A. It takes, when you see communities with blinders on, you really can't see the opportunity to be investment and be creative and bring that to the table. So
Right.
it takes seeing and hearing. It takes thank you for doing this.
Yes.
It takes programs like this to have people to say what you may think is no more. Here is an opportunity for us to be able to provide quality services to families that need it and to communities that also need it. It's the most densely populated areas that has the best opportunity. What is it?
Right.
40% of the population is there in the southern part of the city.
Right.
So it to me is just an oasis of opportunity.
And now Trinity Groves is people act like it's always been there. I see families all the time that they run 5Ks
Yeah.
there.
We talked about
They
that
have
bridge.
parades.
We used to call it the bridge to nowhere because that's what it was. We're like, what are they building this big
Yes.
Marvin Hunt Bridge, and where is it going?
Where's it going? That's right.
You know, it's a bridge to nowhere, and now it's a
Now
bridge
we
to
see.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that, and to see, you know, being at the table and being able to influence those decisions, bringing the first bank ever in that community.
I think it's Texas Capital.
No,
Was
this
it
is my
there?
previous bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we did that.
Good.
So, but now with Susser, and we're finna do some great
Finna
things.
work.
So we finna work it. Rest
I
assured.
love that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it-
It's interesting that you talked about how you got to let people see. It's similar to our being in South Dallas in the Martin Luther King Center. Now the entire campus is owned by the city of Dallas, so we're actually leasing the space. The building has 5 campuses. The only Martin Luther King Center in the country that has a medical center. They have a center for senior citizens. They have a recreation center, a public library.
Right. Yes.
A child care
Yes.
facility where patients depend upon our mothers and fathers that have children up to, I believe it is preschool age. If their income level is low, is at a certain level, then their kids can be seen at no charge at all. And then they have a core building where they have the Martin Luther King, they have a display. They have some other folks and organizations that are in there that can actually help people apply for loans if they want to start their own business. All types of services designed for the entire family. They have a community court where if people have misdemeanors and they need to go in front of a judge, plead their case. And if the judge agrees, they'll either have a decrease in the amount that they owe, and they have to do community service. But it's designed for the entire family. Yes,
it's
all
a
in that
whole-
Martin Luther King City.
yeah.
Yes, it
And
is.
you never would have known.
No,
You
it's
never-
it's been very challenging to continue to let everyone know
Yeah.
about the services. But anybody could walk through our doors.
Mhm.
Anyone. They don't have to be uninsured to come to see us. people with insurance. We're all of our providers on pretty much all the plans, health plans.
That's
So the beauty of people physically coming in and seeing what we offer, that's what they need to see,
Game
because once they
changer.
come through the doors,
It changes.
it changed their
everything. Yeah.
perspective. And when I came there, we had limited services in the building. We had internal medicine, pediatrics, dentistry, but I've been able to secure well over $4 million in grants to do renovation within the facility. So we've expanded all of
They've got a beautiful
our
facility. It's
exam
very
rooms,
nice.
and we've added more services.
Yeah.
And so the partnership with the city of Dallas has been key to our ability to be able to thrive where we are, but also to just reach a lot more people who normally would use the emergency room
Yeah.
as their primary care site, which is not the way it should be.
So, with that being said, what would be some potential future plans or aspirations that
I'm a dreamer.
I know you
I'm
are.
a dreamer,
Big.
we're a doer. We got a team that we actually do what we say we're going to do. It just takes money to do it. So I also write the majority of the grants for the company. The money that we get from the federal government is about 25% of our total budget. So when we're spending 11, 12, 13, $14 million a year, we're only getting a piece of it from the government to just allow us to provide discounted rates for the uninsured if they meet certain qualifications. The rest of the revenue we generate is through seeing patients, either collecting from them out of pocket or from the insurance plans. My goal ultimately is to set it up where we can expand and open up a site, do a major capital campaign to build a facility in the southern sector, DeSoto, Duncanville area.
That would be
Because a
great.
lot of the patients that we see, they come from DeSoto, Duncanville, east of Mesquite,
And they drive
north, yes, they do, or take a bus.
or ride the bus.
Yes, ride
3
the
or
bus.
4 transfers
Yes,
to get there.
exactly.
Oh, I didn't
So
even
they come
think
from
about
all
that.
over. So our goal, my ultimate goal, is that we are able to build a facility or renovate one that's been donated to us, so that we can own, Martin Luther King Clinic can own some land in a building, so that I can do even more expansion beyond that. So that's the goal. But we see so many patients with chronic conditions, but because we have doctors who really care about what they're doing, they're very savvy about how to develop a relationship with the patients.
That's great.
They really help patients who have these chronic conditions maintain them and manage them. And that's one of the things that we want to do, is to be available when people need us, but also to let them know that they can come in on a regular basis like you would anywhere else that you live.
That's fantastic.
You know, going back to something you were saying earlier about the chronic conditions, and we all know what some of them is hereditary,
Diabetes.
Yeah.
but what leads to that has to do with diet.
Mhm.
And one of the things
Lifestyle,
that,
yeah.
and lifestyle, which
Yes.
is so this topic is so, you think money is over here by itself, but it is
Yeah.
not. It very
Yes.
much is what people are living with right now, the stress that they're feeling
Right.
from the rising cost
Yeah.
of inflation, and just seeing
Yes.
that they couldn't afford a $10 hit, but less long a $200 hit.
Yes.
I got to make some choices here. But a lot of what you were saying in terms of the grocery store, if you're hard pressed when you're in some of the communities that we're referring to go in and find an organic section,
Right.
right? You're very hard pressed.
Yeah.
And or find everything you see is aisles and aisles and aisles of processed foods and candies and all of those things. So a lot of that has to do with options. If this is my grocery store that I've had to ride the bus to get to, buy
Yeah.
groceries, lug this back on, take a transfer to get back, there's not a lot of options for me
Right.
that live here in this community unless I have a car, can go to where those options are. So it's all tied together.
Yeah.
So
It
to
really
know,
is.
I've learned something more about the MLK. So going back to that, dispel the myth, getting out and learning, I want to come and see you.
Yes.
Because hearing all of the things, I knew about the senior component, but all the great things that you all are doing, that's the world that I'm in. I'm looking for nonprofits that we can help to support. So being able to hear that, and that being one of my pillars for, I definitely need to come and see you. So see, you just never know.
Yes, and so,
connected the dots.
yeah. And so save the date, because August 3rd through the 8th or 9th is National Health Center Week. So all of the community health centers like ours throughout the country recognize all these different days
August
for the
3rd
week.
through 8th.
But the 3rd is our 40th anniversary of
Wow.
being open.
That
So we're
Yes.
going to have a
We've got to do
recognition
big-
reception, identifying and acknowledging all of our partners over the last 40 years. And we've had a lot, because like I said, we focus on the the primary care.
Yeah.
But anything outside of that, we've got a lot of community partners that we have been working with for a while for people who need the food,
Right.
the clothing,
Right.
even just regular housewares and a place to live. We're able to help with pretty much everything outside, get them connected with other
Fantastic.
partners.
That's
So yes,
great.
I will definitely be sending that out too.
Please
It's really
do.
we're excited. I'm very excited about the fact that
I can
Dinah-
feel the energy. I can.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
palpable.
it's nice to know that we have staff members, for one, who have stayed with us for a long time
Yes.
during very trying times, but they believe in our mission, and that's really to improve the lifestyle
Yeah.
and the health and wellness of individuals, anybody who walks through the doors, anybody,
Love that.
whether they are from the neighborhood or not. And as long as they have some ID that lets us know who they are, we're going to take care of them
That's fantastic.
and provide the education and everything.
I can't wait to see this on TV, hear about it on the news,
can't
all
wait.
the PR. I'm going to be like, I
Something
know,
good.
yes.
Yeah, we're working on this. Mhm.
When it comes to entrepreneurship, a lot of people my age, we're out of college and we're kind of going out into the world, trying to make a stable for ourselves. And one thing that we're interested in is starting businesses. Even if we're still working, even if we're still finishing up grad school, what's some advice that you would give either to young professionals or seasoned professionals that want to either get bank loans, that need to understand financial literacy and how credit can help or hurt?
It
That
always
would just go
helps.
into that. Yeah, yeah.
It can hurt.
No, I
Credit
mean,
always
I mean,
helps.
bad credit will hurt. That's what I mean. The credit score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could make it's a game changer. I'll
Okay.
just tell you that.
Okay.
The best advice I would give to any young person, and I think a lot of what you're seeing now, and I think more and more young
women
people
are going in the-
women without question. That's the number one growing segment of business. But I think more and more young people are going to be looking at those kind of options. We don't know. We're just scratching the surface on AI and what that's going to do to create opportunities for entrepreneurship, true, for those that want to go in that business. But in terms of what is the workforce going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're seeing a lot of the trade schools where you've got a aging population, where appraisers, right? It's the whole industry segments where there are not young people wanting to go into those areas that are now going. Well, those are good starting jobs, but they're also great business opportunities. So if you were an appraiser for this company, learn the trade, you can go and start an appraisal company tomorrow and have.
Huh.
I'm just saying, it's just that's just one example of many. But my best advice would be to say, before you decide, I'm quitting this job, or I'm stopping my degree plan, I'm going to go ahead and start my business, have a plan, right? A man is not a plan. So I'm just telling y'all right now, that's my saying. A man is not a plan. Sometimes they
I'm gonna have to tell all my girls that.
a man is a
because-
plan. That just take
I
him
tell
out
my
the way.
daughters that too, even though they're doing their thing, but I'm just in case.
No, they have a plan. But I think in terms of to be able to think strategically, there are so many resources that you could take. I believe necessity is the mother of invention. And if you're thinking about something that you need, want, can't find, it's an inconvenience, that's how you see people come with, with all of these brilliant ideas. I'm like, well, why didn't I think about that?
Yeah.
It's a problem for me as well. Some little bitty things that you'll see in watching that. But I certainly think that before you do that, think about and all of the resources. The SB has a resource center.
Okay.
Banks, we teach it all the time about how to get financing once you're ready to do that. But we can't finance what we can't see. I got to see your vision. I got to see that you are. What is this going to look like? What is your market? How are you going to go to market? What is your market strategy? Who's going to run the day-to-day operations? So when you come into a bank, sometimes they're not ready. But when you come into a bank, I want to know, I can help you. I can see, this is your business plan. You're asking me to come along to invest in your vision, because that's what it is at that point. It's a vision. There's no proof of concept, but it's a vision. So how do we help invest with that? And we'll come alongside you and help you. If it's still too early for us at that phase, we have partners that we also fund. Banks fund these programs that are helping businesses at all stages of where they are.
Really?
Right. Because we're trying to continue to do our day-to-day operations, but you've got nonprofit organizations that are there That is their core charge. That is their mission, to work and help get businesses prepared to be bankable so that they can refer them to us and we can go ahead and do
That's
that loan.
great.
It's a little
Didn't even
I'll
know
circle.
that
definitely
you
get on that
guys.
too.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many of them, and they're great.
Yeah.
In addition to them helping you with that, if there are loans that for us that don't fit our credit, and we call it our credit appetite or credit bucket,
Mhm.
we fund other programs that are funds that they can do the loans for small businesses that maybe have a little bit more risk. Maybe they do have a glitch on their credit score,
Sure.
and we can't fund it because it fell outside of our guidelines. These organizations can go deeper and do the things that we
Oh.
can't do. You can still get your loans, still grow your
People
business.
need to know this.
That's
Yeah.
another
Yes.
whole
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
to sit around this
I
table
mean,
and tell you
I'm
where
sitting here
are the
learning so
resources.
much about
There's so many
just both
resources.
of these
So
aspects
many
here.
resources.
Yeah.
And we're screaming from the mountaintops, hey,
Sure.
it's out there. So I love this, and thank you for creating this
Yeah.
format to be able to learn about the wealth and health piece of that, because they are so
Right.
connected
Yeah.
Right.
to what they do in terms of the impact that they have.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Sure.
One more question, kind of piggybacking off what you just said. You also happen to be in a really unique area that shares a space with the incoming Texas Stock Exchange. And there's been
New
so
York.
much. Yeah.
The New York is coming in our building.
Yeah, and could you
Oh,
speak a little
okay.
bit to that?
Yes.
Because
Not at all.
okay, never mind.
No,
I don't want
Listen, I cannot wait for them to get in that building. Our offices are over in the old Parkland. And that campus was developed by the Crow family. When I tell you, it's absolutely one of the most beautiful
I
campuses.
was struck by it. I
Art
want to
and the
actually.
history. I mean,
Yeah.
if you ever get a chance to do a tour, it is just every day I pull in, thinking, Lord, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the families that are there, a lot of family owned foundations, businesses, private capital. It is all high in finance.
Okay.
So it makes sense for them to be in that building. We can't wait for them to get there. I think it's going to be a lot of traffic, a lot more activities, but it's all created a sense. When you think about not just that campus and that community, Texas as a whole and Dallas as a whole is becoming the financial mecca.
It is.
Everything's moving here,
Yeah.
right? Banks are opening, they're emerging, they're getting bigger and bigger. But what that says to us, it creates an opportunity for us that are regional banks,
Mhm.
that are headquarters. That's our headquarters.
Mm.
Decisions are made local. I don't have to pick up the phone, wait for
You
another
can just-
state to call me back and tell me we can do this loan. All of that's
That's
done. So it
great.
creates an opportunity for us to make local decisions and do banking the old fashioned way,
Sure.
right?
It's a
Relationship.
relationship.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Know your banker.
Yeah.
I ask people that all the time, who's your banker? Well, we bank with who's your banker?
Yes.
That's a game changer.
Absolutely.
And we like to know our clients and have our clients know us.
I'm gonna have to find a finance guy over there, maybe.
Let me get off this thing. Yes, you should. Trust me on this
different conversation.
a different conversation, but we have to have it.
Mhm.
That's a girl talk.
Yep. We'll save that. What's some advice that you would give? Whether it's a young female entrepreneur or just someone who's interested in going into healthcare, building a clinic, especially in maybe this lower socioeconomic, maybe it's not, but just some general advice that you give.
I always think that it's important to understand the industry you're in, because I had a perfect opportunity to learn before I actually became a hospital administrator. And so the more, whatever position a person is in, if they're interested in healthcare and they're in a position, that I would recommend that they try and take on as many different assignments as they can so they can understand the business, because healthcare as an administrator is a business. I have a finance background.
Right.
And so I need to not only understand the day-to-day operations, so I can pretty much work in every position except for being a direct patient care provider, because I don't know anything about medicine. But to understand each role helps the person hire people and hold them accountable. If they know what they're supposed to be doing, then you can hold that person accountable. And then to also, any position that a person is in that's interested in this business, to help bring other people forward and upward, put them in positions where they can help make decisions, so that once that person decides to become a manager or a executive director or a CEO or whatever it may be, or VP, they don't have to uh, come up with all the ideas or come up with all decisions. They rely on a team of people. It's all about teamwork when you're running any kind of business.
That's so
So as
true.
you were referencing, saying that you got to get some other, you have to have other people with you
Yeah.
at some point if you want to really expand and keep your options open, stay positive. When there are issues that may take place, there's always a solution. And it helps to have other people give you ideas and be open to that. I'm all about females doing very well, but I also believe that our men
Yes.
need to
Yes. Yes.
do
they
well.
should.
And I support men, especially when it comes to healthcare and trying to make sure our men, Black men, Hispanic men, are going to see the doctor. That's important to me
That's
because
huge.
as much as we run
Right.
a
That's
lot
the
of the country,
lifestyle component we were talking about,
and
actually.
that's important.
And
That
so mindset as
exactly,
well.
yeah. We have to. They have to go to the doctor and
Yeah.
go to the dentist and get an eye exam and a foot exam. All those things to either find out that everything is okay, or if there's something that's not okay, you've got a provider that can help you through that.
Yeah.
That's important. I mean, we want our children to have both the male and the female in,
Right.
in
I'm
their
glad you
lives,
said
however
that.
that needs to be. So
Yeah.
I think those are all important to me,
Absolutely.
and those are pieces of advice that I would give.
Fantastic. Well, we are at the top of our hour.
Are we?
If someone, it goes fast. Yeah. If someone is interested in reaching out to both of you, how could they best contact you? What would be the best method?
Oh gosh, I'm everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not
Okay.
really big on Facebook, so if you forget that, I don't post on that. But I'm on LinkedIn. How many people do you know named Effie? Let's start there. I did not even need a last name. Just say Effie. Everybody knows me. But I'm at Effie Dennison, and it's just effie.dennison@susserbank.com. But before I go, I just wanted to leave one parting
Yeah.
word in terms of when you say financial health. I think people tend to think that they have to amass a lot of money.
Right.
And to me,
Right.
that is a misconception, right? Everybody's lifestyle is different.
Yeah.
And to be and healthy financially means you have enough your life to fulfill the lifestyle that you choose to live. Now, if I want to be a baller with fancy, I got to make a plan for that.
Sure.
If my lifestyle is more simple and I want to keep it simple, then I plan for that.
Mhm.
But I think there's different stages of life where we see that.
Right.
I think there's different opportunities where we see that. But I just don't want to not say that when you're planning, and we didn't talk a lot about what that looks like in terms of building a good financial plan. But I think that's important. But don't feel that you have to just, I got to have millions and millions of dollars. It just determines what your lifestyle is, because you can live very happy and healthy based off of what that is for you. So that's my contact information and party words.
Thank you.
And my contact information, I'm on LinkedIn as well, Joyce Tapley, but I want to put in the plug for people who are interested in actually seeing a doctor and a dentist on a regular basis. So the
Yes.
number to Foremost Family Health Centers is 214-426-3645.
Okay.
And that's for anyone who needs to see a doctor, dentist, a therapist, podiatrist, all of the things that we need to take care of the entire family. And again, that number is 214-426-3645. But I am on LinkedIn, and I'm definitely open to partnerships and anything that we can do to help make South Dallas and the Dallas region healthier is what our goal is. And we've been achieving it over the last almost 40 years, and we're working to do more for the future.
I look so forward to seeing both of you ladies. I can tell that God has such big opportunities
Yes,
for
he
both of
does.
you.
Mhm.
And I look forward to just saying I got to sit in the same room with them, because you guys don't even get to see from my perspective. And, even asking you here, I already think very highly of both of you. And I know the community does as well. So thank you both for coming
Thank you for
today.
the opportunity.
Yes, thank you
Absolutely.
for the
Yes.
invitation.
Yes. I look up to women like you, and I hope that other girls see women like you as the examples that we need as positive influences in the city and in the community, because that's what we need more of.
And a man, no problem.
Right? Not a nurse or a purse.
That's right. Not a nurse or ain't no nurse or purse.
The plan, right?
Man.
Thank you all so much for joining us. This is our show, Live Well. Feel free to please reach out to our guest, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day.
Thank you.